Guys, do you believe 99% this is Aljamain Sterling's last fight at 135?
Yeah, I do. I believe that.
Wow.
And he said it.
Well, he said it, yeah. I mean, I know he's
100% if he wins.
Yeah.
The part that's tripping me up is the wanting to hold on to the belt.
They're not going to let him, right?
Go up. Not only that, but like he's saying it's Merab's time, right? If it's Merab's time, then you are giving up the belt, right? You can't just hold the belt until Volkanovski finishes his business and then try to fight and beat double champ. So I think, but I mean, who's really left? Like a rematch with Sandhagen? Like what's left for
The other thing is Sandhagen is going to be out for a while.
Yeah. I would not be surprised. It would make a lot of sense for him to move up. But not the part that changes the equation is not wanting to relinquish the belt.
Here's the list of guys under him. Merab, he's not fighting him. O'Malley is 2. By the way, I wonder what O'Malley was at when this fight was first announced. Like, what was I don't even know. If
I think he was probably around there because of the strength of the Yan win.
Okay, but
no, O'Malley was 1 after the Yan win, and then the Merab pummeling of Yan.
So he's. I was actually wondering about that because he beat Yan in October of last year,
and he became number 1.
He went all the way to 1 after that. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, solid win. I just didn't know it was that big of a jump because I think he was like 10 or something when he fought Yan, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Something crazy.
So he took a big jump.
I want to say Yan was 1 when that fight.
But it doesn't always work out that you take the guy's spot.
Yeah, right. Of course, but I mean, it's Sean O'Malley.
Right. Cejudo's 3, beat him. Sandhagen 4, beat him. Yan fought him twice, beat him. Marlon, if he wins, could be an option. But he's coming off.
Yeah, I feel like it's unfortunate that it's Munoz on short notice rather than Cejudo. Like, but
I'm just saying, like, then there's Rob Font. He just lost. Song Yadong, Dominic Cruz. Like,
Cheeto also feels like a big fight for Sean O'Malley, but not for Aljo. Like, that doesn't feel like a must-see.
Honestly, if Aljo wins, love the idea of him moving up to 145, and then they rematch O'Malley and Cheeto if Cheeto wins.
I would love
Doesn't
that.
necessarily have to be for the belt or anything, but like a rematch of them would be great.
I would love that fight.
That's the weight cut thing. He talked about the weight cut thing. I think that has a lot to do with it. So yeah, I think this is going to be his last.
Here's the question, though. We all know that in order to do this move as champion, going up to fight, like he doesn't want to go up to 145 to fight.
That's what I was just going to say.
Ilia Topuria. He wants to fight
somebody else. Would he fight somebody
No,
else?
he wants to. He said champ. He wants to fight the champion.
But that might not be an option, right? Let's say
why is it not going to be an option?
Let's say it works out to the point where now Alexander Volkanovski is chasing his own champ status, right? He's chasing his own fight against Islam Makhachev. Islam's not fighting till October. Then we have to wait for the resolution of that. Then Alexander Volkanovski potentially gets a shot. Maybe he fights Ilya, and maybe it's delayed even further. If you're Aljamain Sterling, are you just sitting on the sidelines? And now is the UFC saying, yes, you can sit on the sidelines with this belt? Or are they saying we're going to take away the belt? Like, there might be a world where he has to fight either another 35er or fight a 45er who's not Alexander Volkanovski just based on the timing.
I mean, with this quick turnaround, there's a world where he wants a little bit of time off.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
He deserves it. He shouldn't fight for the rest of the year.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm maybe not even until like March or April of next year.
Oh, yeah. I just mean like, could you imagine if they're like, yeah, okay, and now we need a main event for December. What's your availability?
If it's against Volk for champ,
yeah, exactly.
There's a world where he takes that.
Exactly.
There's a part of me that hates this talk before a title fight, especially on the Monday before, because it's a little bit disrespectful to the guy that he's fighting, but it does kind of add to the fight. It adds to the stakes, right? It makes it, if we know, if he is being truthful.
I don't think it's disrespectful because he's saying he's going to move no matter what. Like he's not saying I'm going to smoke Sean O'Malley and then I'm going up. He's saying, look, this is it. The weight cut's hard. It's Merab's time. I'm leaving. I think it's fine. It's not disrespectful.
UFC hates when people vacate their titles. And I just don't think, given their relationship, if we're being honest, I just don't think that they're going to be okay with him doing what Volk just did in February. The champ opportunity happens to ones that they, for whatever reason, have a good relationship with. Volk, Amanda Nunes, Conor McGregor, Daniel Cormier, right? They're not giving it to the ones that, for whatever reason, they're not on the same page with.
I've been thinking about this a lot. I think that Aljamain Sterling is in the position that Volkanovski was in when he got the fight against Islam Makhachev. I think he's exactly in that same position from the perspective that Volkanovski was not really like a bankable star for the UFC, right? He was somebody who was in fights that were not like huge pay-per-view draws and wasn't viewed as like one of the top champions in the promotion. The Islam Makhachev fight, in my opinion, was, and I should say not from a skills or pound for pound perspective. I'm talking in terms of like star power, a lot of the reason that these kind of opportunities are made. But he cleared out his division, and just like Aljamain Sterling has, he cleared out his division and got the opportunity, and I think that was the star-making performance. And I think Aljamain Sterling is right on the cusp of that himself. Like, I don't think if he goes out there and smokes Sean O'Malley, there will be a litany of excuses from a litany of people who will say, yeah, style matchup. Like, Sean O'Malley can't stop a nosebleed. He took him down. He pounded him out. We all knew that was going to happen. Everybody knew that was going to happen, and nobody cares. So I don't think he will get credit for this win if he's able to do it impressively. But I do think if he gets the opportunity to fight somebody as good as Alexander Volkanovski, and if he does even half as good a job as Alexander Volkanovski did against Islam Makhachev, it will turn the table in a big way, the same way I believe it did for Volk. I think that was the performance that got people to be more excited about Volk's fights. And I think it could happen the same way for Aljamain. So it might be a gamble that the UFC is willing to take on the basis that they might come out of the other side with a bigger star, in my opinion.
It's a fair point that you make. There's only one thing that I feel like you're overlooking.
Tell me.
They don't have the same relationship with Aljo that they do with Volk.
It's fair. It's completely fair.
But man, you talk about qualifications. If he goes out there and he like does finish Sean O'Malley, the resume that he has at 135, he also has the size to fight at 145. Like, it makes all the sense.
I would love to see Aljo versus
It'd
Volkanovski
be
at 145.
amazing.
I would love to see. That's a great fight. That's an amazing fight.
By the way, I was looking this up. Like, I don't know if people know, like, the two longest current active UFC champion streaks of title defenses are Alexander Volkanovski, Aljamain Sterling.
That's
it. 5 and 3. No, 5 for Volk, 3 for Aljamain Sterling. Like, I'll beat the drum. I'm not ashamed to beat the drum. Like, Aljamain Sterling is the most underappreciated fighter on the roster, in my opinion. The resume that he has, GC just mentioned it. You add Sean O'Malley to that. He deserves more than he's gotten, especially the way this fight was announced.
Oh, my God.
This was not befitting of somebody with his caliber of resume. And there will be excuses, right? The acting performance against Jan, TJ was injured. There will always be excuses. And even as I said, I don't believe that this Sean O'Malley fight will solidify anything because people will find a way to discredit this. But if he can't go up to 45 and find success, and especially against a guy who everybody knows is as good as Alexander Volkanovski, it will be a turning point, in my opinion.
Do you know what's the crazy thing about the shots that people take towards Aljamain Sterling, the Piriani, the TJ, like, none of it is his fault.
No.
It's not like he's a dirty fighter. It's not like he's eye-poking people. It's not like he's playing dirty. He's holding on to the fence. Like, he's just playing with the cards that he's dealt. He didn't ask to be blasted in the knee legally. He didn't ask TJ Dillashaw to turn up, with a bum shoulder. He's just going out there and doing what he needs to do. And yes, it does drive me crazy. I
would make the argument he's doing more than he needs to do, right? As you pointed out in the interview, and as you pointed out at the time that Dana White was slandering him about how he's not the guy, and Cejudo's going to step in and take the opportunity. Now he's the one fighting, turning around right away and taking this opportunity to give Sean O'Malley, who the promotion is obviously favorable toward, this opportunity and defend his title. Like, he's gone above and beyond, in my opinion. It's not just that he's just like sitting there racking up wins once every 6 months, fighting twice a year. The dude is doing everything that needs to be done to build a legacy, and the resume speaks for itself. And I don't think he gets a fair shake, personally.
Yeah, I didn't ask him about this. There was a part of me that didn't want to harp on all of this because the guy's about to go on the plane. I don't want to put him in that negative headspace, but it was crazy. He was in studio on the Monday. Yep. I remember the next day, I was in the airport going to Dublin for the Katie Taylor fight. That's when they made the announcement on the day of the Francis Ngannou announcement, right? That's when they like just flooded the timelines with all these announcements. And then I remember like a week or so later, maybe even less. No, I think it was less, where he said, like, where Dana White said, guess who called me? Guess who's ready to go if Aljo can't go? Henry Cejudo. And then Cejudo gets injured, right? like a month or so later, and then it's like, oh, the guy that you were using as the threat in case you don't show up, he's not even showing up on August 19th. And here you are, banged up, just fought 25 minutes against that same guy, and you still can't get any love. There's going to be, if it happens, I'll be super glad to be wrong. But I can't wait for the media tour this week, because he'll do a series of interviews. I want to see, does Dana say what you just said in your career? Because it could be very easy for him to say that. This guy fights anyone. This guy is the most underrated champion. This guy has the second longest active streak as far as champion defenses are concerned in the UFC right now. Blah, 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 blah. Instead, it's going to be like some guys just don't get it. And some guys, they believe it's going to be nonsense like that. It's going to be no promotion. It's not going to be propping him up. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because he is very marketable. He is very easy to promote. And he does show up. It's annoying.
When are we going to get some Funk Harbor?
Nah.
Are you a big rum guy?
No, but if I'm drinking Funk Harbor, I am.
I don't even know what rum tastes like. I know rum raisin.
Ever had rum in your life?
Rum raisin?
Yeah, I mean, rum raisin is raisins soaked in rum, I think.
Rum raisin. No, the ice cream flavor.
Yeah. I know.
Top 3 worst flavors of all time.
Wow.
So I think
Wow. So you don't want the Funk Harbor?
I think we've gotten a clue as to whether you like rum or not.
Nah, I mean, who wants rum in their ice cream?
Get a little buzz, man, with your sweets, with your dessert.
I don't want any buzz in my sweets.
Funk Harbor rum raisin ice cream. You're not eating it? Cold Stone comes out with a special flavor. Little
Imagine.
Funk Master Cold Stone collab, and you're not eating it?
Do you have to be 21 to get rum raisin?
No, it's not actually alcoholic, that flavor.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
It's not real alcohol?
No.
It's fake alcohol.
What does that even mean?
True?
I feel. Wait, are you? So next you're going to say there's no vodka in penne vodka?
What is
news
that?
to
I don't
me.
know what that is.
Penne alla vodka.
Oh, penne.
Vodka sauce?
Yeah,
Come
yeah,
on.
yeah. No,
There's actual vodka in that.
Yes,
Yeah, but they cook it.
but it's cooked, and the potency of these things
It does have actual rum in it.
is not alcohol level. Like, it's not drinking liquor.
GC
level.
says there's alcohol in it.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yes, but there's like alcohol is in lots of different things. But if it's cooked, it is not potent. You're not getting drunk off rum raisin ice cream.
I'm down for some rum raisin ice
Hold my
cream. There's a
beer.
great
So there is
Jamaican
no
spot
age.
right next to my
There is no
house.
age requirement.
Fair enough.
Maybe a little Jamaican food and some Funk Harbor rum raisin ice cream for dinner on Monday if Aljo wins.
Maybe have it at the watch
Yeah.
party.
Now we're talking.
What's?
I gotta have baked beans, clam chowder, Dunkin'.
Oh, you're going. Okay, you're going.
Is that the meal? We're all gonna do that? Baked beans, clam chowder, and an extra large iced coffee from Dunkin'. Is everybody down?
Joe is making a screwed up face.
Why?
Why?
Like it's not a good idea.
Why?
That doesn't sound good on the tummy.
I mean, he's from Boston. I'm gonna follow his lead.
We need Joe to weigh in here.
What's the best storyline attached to UFC 292? Is this the Aljo stuff? Is it Zhang Weili's? Zhang Weili 2.0, by the way. Zhang Weili, since winning the belt, is like an absolute phenom. She
Yeah.
is just, she's like a Tasmanian devil out there.
I mean, I think that fight's gonna be crazy, but I mean, it's also Sean O'Malley is in his first main event.
Yeah,
And he's headlining pay-per-view for a title.
Let me just throw out
against-
a couple ones. Ian Gary, he's talked a lot this camp. He's talked a lot. We're going to talk to him in about
Wish
an hour.
it was still the Jeff Neal fight.
Yeah. But
That'd
still,
be
I mean, it's a big
unfortunate.
test. Beating Neil Magny is a
Yeah.
big test.
Of course.
The-
And this
the
is what he
heat's not
wanted,
there,
too.
though.
This is what he wanted.
Marlon Vera coming back after that super disappointing performance against Corey
Yeah.
Sandhagen against Pedro Munoz. Chris Weidman coming back two and a
that's
half
big.
years
That's big.
after the leg break. It kind of stops there. I mean, there's good fights beneath that, but I feel like those are the top ones. I feel like that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that 5-pack, that's solid stuff.
I mean, I cannot wait for this fight card. And the craziest thing is that it could have been even better. Like, we obviously lost the Cody Garbrandt, Mario Bautista. We could have had the Ian Gary,
Yeah.
Jeff Neal. Could have had Cheeto versus Henry Cejudo. We're supposed to have Font and Song Yadong. But still, I'm very excited for this one. I think it's O'Malley, first main event, going for the title against a guy who some are now saying is potentially the greatest 135er of all time. Could be his last fight in the division. Main event. Belt on the line. That's number one for me.
Strong agree.
Yeah. But the other ones are solid.
Oh,
yeah.
for sure. It's a sick card. And I love that they're going back to Boston. I think the crowd's going to be electric.
Card of the year.
I mean, come on.
I feel like every pay-per-view we say,
we got to watch it happen.
Card of the year. This is the most stacked card of the year.
These next 4 pay-per-views are crazy, though. This into Izzy Strickland in Australia, into Abu Dhabi, into John Jones Stipe at MSG.
Oh, and then December is going to be
McGregor Chandler.
If it's McGregor Chandler, or even if it's the return of Yuri against Alex Pereira, and then we have to find a slot for Leon and Colby potentially in New York City, or it's either New York or December. So
Great train, baby.
Yeah, it's
UFC
going to be a big fourth quarter for the UFC. Speaking of Conor McGregor, he was on full display at the O2 this weekend. So there was a lot going on in the world of combat sports. Of course, Bellator had another event in South Dakota. They always do big business there. Solid win for Logan Storley. Was expecting just like a 25-minute. Yeah.
See him get a finish. Against
the always dangerous Brennan Ward. Solid performances all around. It was, very long card, a lot of fights on the card, but entertaining stuff. Saturday night, very happy to see Vicente Luque back on track, healthy. Always impressive when you could beat a legend like RDA. To me, first ballot Hall of Famer in whatever Hall of Fame you want to create. Just, an absolute legend of the game. Khalil Roundtree with a very impressive performance as well. But to me, what happened at the O2 in London was the biggest story of the weekend. Multiple reasons. Anytime Anthony Joshua fights, it's a big deal. Fights a short notice opponent, was looking a little ho-humish in the early portion of the fight, then blasts him with the right hand, knocks out Robert Helenius, sets up the massive fight potentially with Deontay Wilder. But our boy Conor McGregor was on full display, like I said, and was there, ringside, shows up in the van or whatever that was, like a minibus, is all over the gaff over there, just like ever, like present. He's just like ringside. You see him there, ringside, all that stuff. And then in the ring, our guy Ade Oladipo asking him a question in the ring, and he calls out KSI, which to me took me by surprise a little bit, because obviously Jake Paul has been calling him out for the better part of 2 years or so and made it very personal. And then here he is saying that he would fight KSI in a bare-knuckle fight, saying, I do believe, what is the line, GC? He couldn't box.
Yeah, he couldn't box eggs if he worked in an egg boxing factory.
I mean, what a line. Guys, are we buying or selling Conor McGregor versus KSI? And what about the promotion for October 14th? He's talking about Dylan. He's talking about Logan Paul. He's saying
he's basically locking Dylan in. He's saying that he's going to win. He said he's training him, so you better watch out, because he's guaranteeing a win. KSI bare knuckle. I thought he already had a bare knuckle bout with Mike Perry for the.
Why bare knuckle though? That's what I would love to know. Why go from boxing to bare knuckle?
I don't know. I liked the plan he laid out in the ringside interview. I think he said Michael Chandler in December, then Justin Gaethje for the BMF belt, then the trilogy with Nate Diaz. I mean, sign me up for that. That would be incredible.
No KSI?
I don't think that's going to happen. I almost feel like he did that.
I didn't really know they had a feud.
I don't think they do. I feel like taking a shot at Jake, like completely ignoring Jake and just being like, yep, I'll bare knuckle box KSI. Just doesn't even mention Jake's name.
Would KSI do that? No? Why so dismissive? Why wouldn't he do that? It'd be the biggest fight of his life. He'd make a shitload of money.
Well, first of all,
he'd also be bare knuckle boxing.
This is fantasy. Like this is not real.
What do you mean?
Conor McGregor is not bare knuckle boxing KSI. Stop this. Like, let's not even talk about this.
I love when he's like, "Your man KSI's over there." Everything about it was hilarious. When Ade's talking to him and he's like, "And your man KSI over there." He couldn't box.
Also, he was holding the microphone too, like he just want to fight as well. It was so good. Yeah, the boxing the eggs line.
So you think
Conor's called out 10 people since he's more, probably 20 people since he's last fought and isn't fighting. So let's just fight.
Buy or sell? He fights in December. He seems to be adamant on December.
I'm buying it.
He's been adamant.
Yeah,
before.
I'm buying it.
Man, December's coming up.
Just when I thought I was out, they pull me back.
You're back in?
December. I'm going to sell.
You're going to sell?
I think we're going to get Dylan, a real Dylan fight and not a Connor fight. That's my...
Dylan Dennis masterclass?
selling.
Imagine where Dylan is the one that you're buying to show up and not Conor.
I think I'm really starting to
What a
think
world.
like with the potential fine, with McGregor backing him so hard, saying he's going to be there. I feel like this is the one he shows up for.
No, I've said this. You're talking about Dylan?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I
know. I
he
think
does.
we're all in agreement on that.
What a strange world. All this getting intertwined. Like, this is the biggest name in MMA. Like it or love it. And he's calling out KSI, not even Jake Paul.
Yeah.
What a crazy world this is. How did this all get so intertwined?
Well, he's there like the Forged Irish Stout was like a big sponsor.
No, I know, but
for
it came out of nowhere.
I hate to go back to the alcohol thing. When are we going to get some Forged Irish Stout?
Wow.
It's like, we got to get the glass.
Something you need to
going.
tell us? Or?
Having a case of the Monday.
But my
That'd
thing
be
is like,
fun.
why is this KSI one being taken seriously? Like, should Mike Perry be taken seriously? Like, none of this is happening. None of this. Like, it's not happening.
Until the 14th.
Can I tell
KSI
you why
beats
this one
Tommy
feels
Fury,
a little bit different?
McGregor
Tell
gets
me.
in the ring,
I'd love to
they
know
do a
because I put
face-to-face,
zero stock into it.
bare knuckle boxing.
For some reason, it feels a little different because it was unexpected. And I know the Mike Perry one was unexpected, but Mike Perry's an MMA fighter, so it's like, I guess conceivably they could fight each other. This one just felt so out of left field. No?
I thought the Mike
Dude,
Perry
the
thing felt
BKFC
pretty out
one
of left field.
Was out of left field. I was like watching that, and I thought I was in a
Cowboy,
fever dream.
take the night off. I'm gonna hop in the ring and steal your mic time and call out Mike Perry. Like that's a weird thing to have happen. None of this has any grounding in reality. Like he's under
You
contract.
gotta
with
give
UFC.
him. You gotta give him credit. The dude is everywhere.
Okay, you do have to say this. The big winner was October 14th, right? If
Sure.
he shows up
Yeah.
to that event and is their fight week, and if he's cornering Dylan in this fight against Logan Paul, as personal as
Massive.
that is getting, this is going to be gigantic business.
Yeah.
They should pay him. They should pay him to be involved. If I'm Misfits or DAZN, I'm paying him to train Dylan and be in his corner.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Or just let Forged Irish Stout be the main
I
sponsor.
think the
for free.
UFC would be the big losers in that equation.
What do you mean?
I think if that's what he's focusing his energy on, I don't know how
No,
the fight happens in December.
just to corner him for a week. He said he's going to train with him. He's going to be part of the training camp. No, he's going to be a part of the training camp. He said
They're
he's
going to train together. He's going to get
Yeah.
ready for December. Dylan's going to get ready for October
Don't be
14th.
so negative, bro.
Nah, don't see
Big
it.
business.
Don't see it.
Big business.
It was crazy. Do you guys think that Wilder Joshua is going to happen?
Oh, I hope so. That's what I want. Felt like Joshua in the beginning was like kind of timid to pull the trigger and everything. Obviously, he got the knockout, but he can't be like that against Deontay Wilder. That is the fight I want to see.
Oh, I would love to see that fight.
Yeah, I feel like it'll happen.
Luckily, we can ask
Eddie Hearn.
Eddie Hearn about that. By the way, speaking of bare knuckle, who? I'm not trying to be, I'm not trying to play games here, but like Bryce
Hall?
Hall, yes.
Shout out, bro. Shout out. Big win.
What is so he had a win also on Friday, BKFC?
Yeah.
What is he known for?
TikTok.
He's like an
Is he just-
influencer, TikTok, Hype House, all that.
What is that?
It's like,
Content creation.
yeah, content
houses.
creation. Yeah, he's just famous.
He's famous like Jake Paul, Logan Paul. He just makes videos.
Yeah, like influencer makes videos. Yeah.
But is he like what kind of videos? Like Mr. Beast type videos?
No, definitely not Mr. Beast.
Not
type
Mr.
videos.
Beast
Like
type
TikTok videos.
But like what is the content? What are we?
Like life. Like here's my life.
Okay, and he's super famous.
Famous.
Very
yeah.
famous.
Why did he go-
millions and millions of followers?
Why did he go BKFC and not just
I
regular?
think that's
cross-
smart.
Had he already done a BKFC fight and lost?
No, this was
He
this
did.
was-
He did a YouTube versus TikTok event, right?
And lost.
and lost. Yeah.
And lost.
Yeah.
Then he came back and he smoked a guy.
Yep.
Yeah, I want to say he dropped him in round one. And
This is a
Oh,
huge coup
you're
for
talking about this
BKFC.
fight? No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
There's an injury, no?
It was an injury to his opponent. He looked decent. He dropped him once, and then the opponent like injured his elbow on the ropes at some point at the end of the first round, and then the opponent just was fighting with one hand, and it had to be stopped. It wasn't. He didn't come out there and like flatline the guy.
But it was a W.
Oh yeah, deserved W.
Oh, yeah, big
for sure.
W.
So is he like a BKFC guy now, or is this just like a one-off?
No, I think.
No, I think he's ready for another one.
Do you think they,
It's
they
smart. in
made
my
money
opinion.
off this? Like, was it a big deal?
That I don't know. But I think it's smart to enter this lane if you're willing to do it because it gets you some clout with that you're willing to put it on the line in a bare knuckle fight, and the influencer boxing market is kind of saturated with guys who are of similar lanes and calibers and things like that. So I think it's smart to differentiate yourself.
Isn't it wild that, okay, they go into the boxing, they go into the BK, but no one has really gone into MMA yet?
It's the hardest one.
Yeah. Kind of a victory for MMA, WMMA. I'm not talking
Has there
about
been
women's
anyone?
MMA. I'm
No,
talking
no, I
about
know what
W
you were
space
saying.
MMA.
Yeah, no. I was aware, man.
I mean,
got it. I keep up with the
CM Punk did
times.
it.
Yeah, wow, you know what? CM Punk was the first influencer
CM
MMA fighter.
CM Punk did it.
Actually, James Toney.
He's a boxer, though.
Yeah. Wow. CM Punk was really ahead of the times. 2016.
I mean, Brock Lesnar.
I mean, freaking national champion. He's like one of the greatest
Yeah,
collegiate
I'm
wrestlers
say,
of all time.
I will grant you, like it's different. CM Punk's probably the
Wow.
one with the least.
Yes, you're
training.
right. Is there another one? I mean, those dudes who fought in those K1 events in LA, like the one guy. Well, Johnny Morton. Remember, he got brutally knocked out. But then there was like some comedian. Was there a comedian that got brutally knocked out as well?
Yeah. How about we say like non-athlete, right? Like maybe that's the distinction. But yeah, I think it's smart to carve out your path in BKFC.
Yeah, crazy. That got a lot of attention. I wasn't too familiar.
He's pretty famous.
I mean,
He's legit.
good-looking guy. Is he a troublemaker? Is he viewed as like talk? Is he?
That I don't know. I'm sure. I mean,
I think he's just a heartthrob.
Is he a heartthrob?
24 million TikTok followers.
Wow. How much?
He's not the problem child.
No, of course not. I saw some reports about the pay-per-view buys for that fight. Not bad.
For the Paul Diaz?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want
What were
to
they?
repeat them, but I think better than what most people were thinking. I don't know if it's true or not. I have no information when it comes to any of that stuff. But that would be a nice little feather in their cap, I would say.
yeah, that is a decent number.
All right. So no Conor KSI. Bryce Hall, is he big enough for? I actually think it's a real thing. As I've been saying,
You think KSI Conor McGregor in bare knuckle boxing is like
maybe not the bare knuckle component, but I said it maybe 6, 7, 8 months ago. I feel like we're inching closer to him being involved in one of these fights. I feel like it's getting
Why
close.
wouldn't it be Jake or Nate? Like, why would it be KSI? Feels
Fuck,
random.
he wants him. He called him out.
No, come on. You
couldn't
let's
box
just say the
today.
egg
He worked in
boxing
an
thing
egg
wasn't
boxing
his best
factory.
stuff. I don't think he
I
has
actually
a
thought
real.
it was not bad.
Oh boy.
Wait, GC
How far
agrees.
are we falling?
Wait, you agree with me, GC? You liked it too.
No.
What? You said you liked it before I got here. You said we were talking outside.
Yeah.
Off
I
the
said
record.
not his best work.
Now you're.
We're talking about one of the greatest trash talkers
Yeah.
I thought
of
it was
all
a funny line.
time. Have you ever gone back and watched this dude's highlight reels?
Yes, I was there for most of it.
The one-liners that this guy used to fly off were
Yes.
like ingenious. All I'm saying, not his best work.
Wow.
Xboxer had
He used
some
it
room for
twice. He used it
improvement.
twice.
Okay, I mean, he did use it twice. He did use
Egg
it.
boxing factory. I'm not really. Is that a big thing in Ireland?
I don't know.
Is that like a common place? Like, I'm not gonna lie. I googled egg boxing factories and like there wasn't a big result. I was fighting for it. I was like, maybe this is a bar.
Oh boy.
I mean,
Not his
eggs
best
do
stuff.
have to be boxed somewhere.
Sure.
Of course, yeah, that is true.
And don't
Is
hire
there-
KSI because
Yes,
he's not
yeah,
capable.
definitely don't hire KSI.
Speaking of,
We can get
trash
around to it.
talking,
Yes, Frank?
Did you see Elon Musk's response to Zuckerberg?
You know, I'm happy you brought this up. This was something I want to talk. You know, okay, you guys may not believe in KSI Connor. I believe now more than ever in Elon versus Zuckerberg. You know why? It has officially reached real fight status, if only because now we get the daily Twitter X thread updates in, out. Here's some of it.
I mean,
I definitely
you-
can't read it, but like, I'm in,
you
you're
think-
out,
you-
I'm in, you're that makes it feel real.
The out
This
part-
feels real because Zuck said, I think we can all agree Elon isn't serious and it's
Yeah.
time to
Yes.
move on from this.
That makes me feel like it's really real. Like,
Did you see the response to that?
Elon won't confirm a date, then says he needs surgery and now asks to do a practice round in my backyard instead. If Elon ever gets serious about a real date and official event, he knows how to reach me. Otherwise, time to move on. I'm going to focus on competing with people who take sports seriously.
And Elon responds, Zuck is a chicken. That's literally what he wrote.
That's all he wrote. What? When?
Yeah,
Today?
I saw it today earlier. That's why I was like, this is the trash talking
On
that you're
X?
doing? On X.
Oh, here it is. Yeah. I can see it on my screen. The fight will be managed by okay, well, the big update last week was Elon distancing himself from the UFC. And then Zuck saying, no, I want to do it with the UFC/1.
So all these things
W1,
together makes
right?
you think it's now more likely somehow.
Yeah, big
Even though
one
every
big
single
million
thing-
percent. When it was
Big Dub won, but how do they get UFC and one to work together?
yeah, that's not going to happen.
Also, what is the whole thing with Italy?
Yeah, well,
wants
they
to
want
do
to
it
go
in
to
the
the
Coliseum.
Coliseum.
I spoke to the PM of Italy and Minister of Culture. They've agreed on epic location. Everything done will pay respect to the past and present of Italy. All proceeds go to veterans
They spoke to a rep in
and
Italy
pediatric hospitals in Italy.
who said no Coliseum, but maybe somewhere else.
Yeah, why no Coliseum?
I don't know.
I don't know. It's like one of the most historic.
Well, I've been to the Coliseum,
places in Europe.
albeit a long time ago, and there's like stuff on the floor. There's like columns and stuff. It will be very hard to.
People died there.
Yeah, but I feel like they'll have to have a platform, and it's not exactly in the best of shape, like to house 80,000 people or whatever it would be. It does seem a little bit far fetched, the Coliseum part, but
Just that part.
just that part.
The rest of it.
When it was just Dana talking about it to JoeBlogspot.com wearing his shirt with the weird threading over here. I don't know why he does that all
Shout
the
out
time.
to the shout out to the threads, bro.
It did
I got
not
one
feel
recently.
real. It felt like he was just trying to attach himself to this fight. But what did I always say? I always said, why do they need any organization, including the UFC, to be involved? These are two of the richest human beings on the planet. Top 5 each, top 10 at worst. Why do they need anyone? They could do this anywhere. They could do this in Alaska in the middle of nowhere and make gazillion dollars and stream it on their respective platforms. But it seems like Zuck really has a great appreciation for the MMA fighters and wants to give them an opportunity. Elon is just kind of,
Also,
he truly is all over the gap. So the fact that he was then saying all this stuff, and then and then Zuck comes out and he's like, he doesn't want to fight, and then they talk about the backyard. That actually made me finally feel like this is a real thing, because this is the way fights are made. This is Tyson Fury and freaking Usyk. This is Conor and
we
Nate
still
Diaz.
haven't
Yeah,
seen
Tyson Fury and Usyk, which is not happening.
Yeah, but those are real fights.
Also, the Coliseum thing.
And not
like,
happening.
Not just getting like 80,000 people in there to watch, but like you would need production, like you would need cameras, announcers, booths, all this. There's just
Okay,
no way.
this is Crawford Spence.
No.
This is Tank Garcia.
The blow-by-blow
Yes.
blow-by-blow conversation about it is the clearest indicator that absolutely nothing is going to happen, because all that is posturing from both sides to say, no, actually, that guy's the scared one. That guy's the chicken. And then they'll never fight, and they'll both just be calling each other chickens forever.
I mean, how much longer do we have? He's already 52.
Yeah, it's
Like,
not
we're
happening.
working against the clock with him.
I actually believe, correct me if you feel other, I feel like Zuckerberg really wants to do this.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, because I think he thinks he's going to dominate the fight. He's like,
No, but he's
14
taking
years
this
younger, and
seriously.
He actually
Oh, yeah.
trains
He's
MMA.
training with guys. He did a 5K yesterday, under 20 minutes. You see that?
Zuck is
He's jacked, dude. And he's running sub 25 Ks at
Yes.
however old he is.
Zuck is Usyk. He wants
Jeez.
the fight. Musk is Fury. He does not want this fight right now. This is not the time
It's
for
got a
him.
lot going on. Just rebranded Twitter.
I
By
read
the way,
the
when you
sub-
post something on social media, sorry to interrupt, is
Yeah,
it
go
via X? Do you do via X?
Yeah, it's X now.
Wow.
X now.
Yeah.
X.com.
Am I the only one, like when I have TweetDeck open and I look at
It's
the
not.
tabs?
It's called X Pro now.
Yes.
Called
Am I the only one that, like, every time that happens, I briefly have a moment of panic because I think, like, some adult site is on my tab.
No. I still go to twitter.com.
It's called X Pro. There's, like, it just doesn't feel real. I'm like, what? Did I get infiltrated by some spam bot? No?
Give it 90 days.
I can't say I've had the same experience.
Yeah, neither have
Every
I.
time I look at X Pro, I think it's some shady site. X Pro?
Get the
Someone
app.
go to arielhelwani.com.
Oh,
dude.
jeez, don't plug that.
Wait, what app? What app?
There's like a desktop app of
Oh, for real?
X Pro. Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know that.
there's always been for TweetDeck. You don't have to go on the browser. That way, it's separated.
Oh, all right. What were you going to say? Sorry, GC?
Oh, yeah, I ran a sub 25K in high school. I ran 3 miles this morning. Any guesses on how fast it took me? Me being 30 now, Zuck's like 39.
3 miles, you said?
Yeah, it took me like 27 minutes. So Zuck
That's incredible.
I'm incredible. Zuck is smoking me.
I know,
Zuck's
but
halfway home by the time I'm done,
Sure.
and he's like 38.
Yeah, but he's rolling
Dude,
with Izzy
I
and
mean,
Volk.
Just the pictures.
Jacked,
Yeah,
man.
he's
I need the vitamin C's on, bro.
It's looking.
Better chance of happening. Conor KSI,
Wow.
Elon.
Yeah. I mean,
Is
neither.
What's bigger, 0 or 0?
Wow,
don't
this is
think
no
either.
fun. I'm trying to have fun here. You guys don't want to have fun? This is fun.
Not that much fun.
I'm
went
like
out-
trying to give a reason. I'm trying to give a reason on why either of them would happen.
Charity. Anytime you throw out charity, then it has to be for a good reason.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, we know that to be fact for sure.
I wanted to do it for charity.
Also, 'cause I wish we could have had like a recording of the Elon Musk phone conversation with the Prime Minister of Italy about holding a fight at the Coliseum.
You know, it was just
Hello,
a random guy.
This is
on the
Elon
street.
Musk. I am the owner
Hey,
of
Elon
X. Do you think that Zuck and Elon have spoken about this?
Yeah, they were texting each other.
No, on the phone.
Maybe.
Do you-
Probably
what do you
not.
think they message
text.
on?
Text. for sure.
Instagram or X?
No, they text.
Facebook Messenger?
It looked like text.
They would never go platform. They would never allow the other to have the win.
The
by
W,
using
yeah,
their
yeah,
platform.
yeah.
So they text.
Prime Minister of Italy. Oh, Giorgia Meloni.
All right, so I guess neither of those are happening.
This is what I'll say. I could see a world. This is what I could see a world where they do something together, but it will not be a fight.
Okay, then let me ask you this: do you see a world in the next 12 months where Mark Zuckerberg has an MMA fight?
Yes.
Wow,
Man, but who does he fight?
yo, that is crazy.
100%.
That's still insane.
Yeah. It is.
Who do we think he fights?
Bryce Hall.
Fuck. Get out of here.
That's the opposite end of the spectrum.
Oh my.
52-year-old that like is kind of out of shape. 23, however.
No, we're
Bryce
talking about
was.
Zuck, not Musk.
I know. I'm saying. Like,
Oh, the
his
comparison of
opponent
opponent.
is-
Gotcha.
Bryce.
opposite end of the
No.
Does he fight in the UFC? I feel like that's a real thing.
I feel like
not
he's
out of the
more
question.
open to the Dana thing than.
Oh yes,
Musk
yes,
is.
yes, 1000%.
He's pushing.
I think
think
he
he
wants
likes
the
the
experience.
legitimacy.
Yes, he
Yeah.
wants the experience of being a UFC fighter.
Well, he laid it out pretty plainly.
Who
He
does he
also
fight?
wants to he recognizes if I'm Mark Zuckerberg and I'm fighting on a card, the exposure that the people underneath me could get from this would be massive. He's trying to promote the sport and promote the athletes. So yeah, I
What if
it's very
Zuckerberg
possible.
did one instead of UFC?
No, it's not.
huge. It'd be huge for them.
Not
W1.
Huge W for one. Mark Zuckerberg is pretty much like GC and I when it comes to English soccer. Like MMA is this new, shiny, fun
Yeah.
breath of fresh air for him, and I think
Yeah.
he's just immersed. Like you can tell, even on Threads, when I pop on there, it feels like he's always talking about MMA in
100%.
some way, shape, or form. He's just in love with it, and how could you not admire that? I feel like he wants to make the walk.
I agree with you. I think it is very likely he does something and not likely at all
Just
that
who
that
does he
fight
fight?
happens.
Well, they could
does
turn
he
this again into how they handled the CM Punk situation.
Yeah.
And they did a whole looking for a fight. And in the end, they found an opponent.
I just feel like if Zuck is going to fight someone, it needs to be someone with a decent amount of notoriety
By the way,
in their name.
the next episode, the next series of The Ultimate Fighter could be winner fights Mark Zuckerberg.
I do not want to
See,
see.
no, you can't.
a Mark
Unless it's like a
Zuckerberg fight.
celebrity tough.
No, you just get a bunch of 1-0 guys.
No.
You have a whole
But
tournament.
You're
and
going
he's
to put
the prize.
Zuckerberg against Joe Schmo?
In
Yes.
that case, just do Facebook employees versus
Yes.
versus Meta.
Meta?
I
Wait.
mean, Meta employees versus X employees, or even mix in Tesla. Do whatever you want.
By the way, in order for this to actually work, it has to be a Joe Schmo.
Yeah, I don't think it will be somebody with a name.
Does
You
it?
can't put
Yes,
it. in
because
there
then you
against a
can
real-
this is it didn't necessarily work out with Punk, but this was the thinking. Like you put him in there against an unknown guy, and then you have hopefully a future star. We thought for a minute Mickey Gall was that future star, right? Mickey Gall beat
Yeah.
him, looked good in doing so, was featured on some big cards, didn't necessarily pan out. But you have to find a guy who's 0-0 and who's, of course, hard to find a guy who's 0-0 and a future star. It's hard to tell at that point, but
I feel like whenever the fight part of it becomes difficult, the grappling match is always kind of like the default. I could very easily see it being a
Zuckerberg,
grappling
Bo
match.
Nickel?
no.
But yeah, I mean, a grappling match. If I had to place a bet right now, I think it'd be a grappling match.
Oh.
But I wouldn't be shocked by MMA.
Hasn't he done that already?
Yeah. He's done like the BJJ.
Yeah, he
tournament.
does like
Yeah.
the tournaments. I'm talking like
Oh,
a Polaris or a
GSP
fight.
Musk on the December card?
Nah.
Have they announced his opponent
They have not. I
yet?
think
GSP's a Musk guy too. That'd
Yeah,
be
he is.
great. That'd be good.
I think next 12 months there's a very good chance he fights. Like
Yeah.
I could
I
see
just
him
wanna
fighting
know
at
the-
UFC 300. Now here's
I
the
like
thing.
the idea of that.
That'd be massive.
Does it
I think it's got to be a celeb.
does it actually not make sense to put him on UFC 300?
I don't think it makes sense to do that.
The same reason why I don't think Conor fights at UFC 300, because you might as well get 2 bites at the Big Apple. You put Conor on 299, you're guaranteed million X, views, and then 300 just on the fact alone that it's 300 and they're going to stack it to a degree. We'll get. So I actually think it's counterproductive to put that big name on 300. You know what I mean?
I also think it would be smart to isolate that fight away from the regular UFC product, right? Because he is not going to be a UFC fighter, right?
You don't think he's going to fight on a numbered UFC card?
I think it would make sense not to, if I'm being honest.
1,000% they're going to do that.
I think it would make sense to do.
Apex. I'm thinking UFC Apex 100 is when we.
No. I'm not saying a fight night.
Zuckerberg.
I'm saying you build something separate. You build something completely separate as the.
I think
the
he
showpiece
wants.
for that
I think
card.
he wants to be on a numbered card.
If he wants to, you give it to him. But what I'm saying is, if I was running it, it would be a separate Zuckerberg show. It would be his show.
Just say like they were just like, let's just blow out UFC 300. Like, let's just make it the biggest event of all time. Zuck is on the card. McGregor's on the card. Who's the main event?
McGregor.
And I think Zuck would be down with that too.
Zuck, come in.
I think the respect that he has for the fighters and fighting and everything, I don't think he wants to be. I think he wants to just be one of the guys on a
Zuck
number.
featured prelim
So crazy.
before the pay-per-view starts.
I think it's a real thing.
What is happening right now?
He's just going down the card.
Come on the show. Let's talk about it.
Zuckerberg versus.
So nuts.
Thanks for watching. We appreciate it very much. Hey, if you like this video, give us the old thumbs up. Subscribe as well. You could get many more of these videos on the channel, so please do that. We would love you forever if you did so.